You're watching Soleful Discussions.
Cool. Hi, how you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing good. How did our paths cross today? How did you and I meet?
I was walking into the mall, and yeah.
She's walking with her friend. Her friend's behind us.
Yep.
She didn't want to participate. It's all good. Hey. So I approached you guys. What did I approach you about? What are we talking about today?
Mental health.
Mental health and two other topics.
We said mental health and
Feet, mental health, reflexology.
There
right?
you go.
Okay.
Yes.
Let me ask you this. When you hear the word feet, what do you think about? What goes to your mind immediately?
feet.
Yep.
My feet.
Think about your feet. Okay, cool. That's great. I'm gonna ask you a couple questions today, like they'll encompass around feet. You just feel free to answer however you like, okay?
Okay.
What about mental health? You hear that term, what comes to mind immediately?
I don't know. I guess anxiety.
Okay.
Depression is the first thing that comes to my mind.
All right.
I hear that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Like I said, today we're gonna talk a little bit about during the holidays. How do you like combat stress? What are some things that you do to specifically deal with that, okay? And then lastly, reflexology. Does that sound familiar? You know what that is?
I feel like I've heard of it, but
Okay.
no, I would need you to explain it to
Okay.
me.
I'll give you some information today and you could just tell me what your thoughts are about it after that, okay? All right, let's start with the first question, okay? How do you manage your stress during the holiday season?
I work out.
Okay.
Yeah. I
Nice.
work out actually throughout the whole year, so that's how I'm
Oh.
able to kind of like deal with my stress. It helps a lot. So.
All right. So you don't let it creep up on you because you keep that routine going, doing that same thing.
I mean, there's times where it does.
Yeah.
But it definitely helps a lot. So that is one of the things that has helped me so much.
Okay.
Yeah, especially during the holidays, because holidays can be so stressful.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So working out and making that a priority is just like, and prayer actually too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So.
What are some routines or must-haves for you during the holiday season?
Taking time out of my day to work out.
Okay.
And just taking some time. Like
Okay.
during the night or
Some
before.
me time, right?
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, and just kind of, I think, de-stressing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice. In your opinion, the world would be better if?
There are more kind people.
Okay. I like that. That's been something that's been echoing through my interviews. Good vibes only, or acknowledge everything that I'm feeling. Or acknowledge everything that you're feeling in the moment. So like you get different emotions that come at you. Some people only try to focus on the positive and they don't like let themselves feel everything that's going on with them. What are your thoughts about that?
You know, I think it's good sometimes to allow yourself to go through the emotions. I do think it's good to like have a positive outlook on life, but
Yeah.
sometimes we do have to go through that, like let ourselves feel what we're feeling, because it's not always good to like constantly be pushing
Yeah.
to the side. So.
Because eventually those emotions that you're like compressing and everything, they're gonna come up.
Yeah, exactly.
Eventually, absolutely.
Yeah.
When I think about my feet, I feel.
I don't like feet.
No, when you think about your feet, though. Yeah.
I'm like, ugh.
Okay. Interesting. If someone complimented me on my feet, I would feel a little awkward.
Yes.
Okay. Why is that?
That's so funny. I was just thinking about like feet. Well, not like feet, but I'm like, I don't know why I think feet are just weird. But then like they're part of our body, so maybe it's just like mentally.
Yeah, it's the foundation of us, right? Like, so,
Exactly.
and we'll get into that when we start talking about reflexology. Yeah, but so let me ask you this, right? Are compliments, like you said, if somebody compliments you about your feet, it would like kind of make you feel like what's going on with that? If they compliment you about your hair, your eyes, your hands, how does that feel?
Oh, that's different. Yeah,
That's
I
a different-
I guess it would be like a different reaction.
Yeah.
Me.
Okay.
So yeah, I would. Yeah.
Okay. When a man compliments me, I feel.
I think it depends.
The context.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're saying like in this scenario, it's just a compliment. He continues on about his day, but he like comes up to you, "Hi, ma'am. Like I think that you're very beautiful, and he just keeps walking. He doesn't stop to like say anything else, but just that.
I think that I don't know, it would make me like smile. Like
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
I think that's sweet.
Cool,
Yeah.
cool. When a woman compliments me, I feel
Oh, that like
another level.
exactly.
Another
That's
level.
Different.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Cool, cool. And let me ask you this. Why is it different? Is it different because I've heard this before. There are times like in life where a lot of times women like are like mean to each other for like no reason. Like you have these like different cliques and stuff that come up when you guys are little. So usually when you get older, there's like more appreciation and more of like a sisterhood and things like that. Is it more along those lines or like why is that?
I want to say yeah.
Okay.
I want to say that is like I guess like they say women empowerment.
Yeah.
And then I guess too, it's like they acknowledge or whatever it is that they're complimenting you on. It's like they're like acknowledging like the effort that you're putting into
Absolutely.
it. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
Cool. How often do you get pedicures during the winter?
Like once.
Once? Okay. So, are you saying like one time during the whole winter, or you saying like one time a month? Or she said once.
I'm telling you, I don't like feet.
Really?
And I don't like people touching my feet either.
Are you really ticklish?
I am.
Okay.
really
I actually have a
am.
trick for you that you can get past that. Absolutely.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
now.
Absolutely. Yeah, I study kinesiology, so that's why I kind of know a little bit. How often do you wear open toe shoes during the winter?
Not that often, actually.
Okay.
I get really cold, so I'm like,
It's like
yeah.
bundle up, put everything
Yeah.
on. So is like, let's say throughout the year, how often do you think you do it? Like you wear open toe shoes? Is it depending on what the weather's like? If it's like kind of warmer, or is it depending on what you're wearing, where you're going?
It depends on where I'm going.
Where you're going?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I want to say maybe almost 50%.
50%.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So it's more of a scenario based type thing for you, not necessarily your style is like a little bit more broad. It's not like something that's just like, because I find some women who I run into and they're like, no, I wear tennis shoes all the time, or I wear boots, or I wear like this specifically. Your style is more of a
Yeah.
whatever the situation is.
Exactly.
Okay. Got it. All right. So in this moment right now, can we see what your feet look like? Putting you on the spot. Okay. You said no. You kind of did like a shy no, and you like slid your feet back. Let me ask you this: have you ever heard of exposure therapy before? Never. Okay. So exposure therapy is like, let's say in certain scenarios or situations you feel uncomfortable, right? You kind of been mentioning the thing about feet, like I'm very uncomfortable. I think it's weird, like whatever, like that. So a therapist would prescribe for you. Let's say you like to go to theme parks, you never get on the rides. You're like, I'm not getting on rides. Therapist would tell you, go out and do that. Do it over and over again, right?
Yeah.
What the thinking behind that is that the more you do it, you'll learn to become more comfortable with it, right? You won't feel as uncomfortable as you did the first time when you first started doing it, right? So the whole mindset is that the more you do it, you're gonna still feel a little bit nervous, whatever, but you'll learn to be like, nothing's happening, like the sky's not falling, like nothing crazy happened to me or nothing like that. So during quarantine, I heard somebody talking about that on their channel, and I like really started doing research on it. And I found that like I'm an overthinker. Like I overthink every situation. Like, and a lot of times I would think myself out of situations. Like it was like the scenario's already passed me by, right?
Yeah.
And so I was like, I want to be somebody who makes more snap decisions. I don't need to like not everything requires you to have to overthink it, right? So I wanted to go out and do this because there's a lot of women who become foot models and things like that, like during this time. So what happens if I just walk up to like the random woman and just ask her questions about this? Will she feel comfortable? Does she get uncomfortable? Like, what does that whole scenario play out like? So I try to get you to practice some exposure therapy while we're doing this, because for me, the exposure therapy is coming up and asking you to do the interview, asking these questions, sitting here like out in public, never know how it's gonna turn out. So like, that's what it is for me. So can you practice that too? So what are your thoughts about that?
Oh. I mean, I think it does, of course, work, but I'm like, am I ready to like expose myself with that? But
Absolutely.
no, I think that I should take like initiative to like start being more comfortable, especially like feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about this? How about can we get you to just 1 foot? Can we do 1 foot to see what that's like? Because I want to show you my trick, and it requires you to actually have yourself to show you that trick.
Show my friend's foot.
Your friend that stepped out of it. She's like, can we show your foot? She's like,
Can we show?
no. No. But like, you're in this, so like, just step through it. You gotta finish the process. Like, we're talking about one foot. We'll show you how to do the trick and everything, and hopefully it'll be helpful for you so you get those pedicures, man. Pedicures are always great. Yeah.
They really are.
Yeah, and if you're really ticklish, that's something you need to get past.
I know.
Yeah.
I really do.
Mm-hmm.
Can I do it with my sock on? It has to be like...
Okay, I'll tell you this. Let's start with just your sock, and then let's see how far we can get. Let's see if we can take that first step first, because that's the first step for you, apparently. Let's see if we can do that. Cool.
Okay, we can do just the sock.
Okay. All right, and she got on the boots. This is probably like part of the reason why. What size do you wear?
The 6.5. Actually,
6.5.
my best friend got these for me.
Those are very. So Fran got those boots for her. There it is. They're lovely boots. They're lovely boots. Like them.
Thank you.
All
No,
right.
I love them. They're my favorite boots.
Okay.
Okay, this is...
Now, does it vary the size shoe you wear depending on the type of shoe you're wearing? Like if you're wearing like a tennis shoe or a sandal, is it different? Because like sometimes it's like a half size up, half size down, something like that. So it's a little bit different.
So,
Okay.
yeah, it is.
Cool. All right. I'm gonna have you put your foot up here.
Oh my God.
Let's step back. Come on. Put your foot up here. Have you put it down flat first.
Wait.
You can do it. You're already there. She is so. This is true exposure therapy that you're doing right now. Like trying to get you out of that. Step at a time. Step at a time. You can do it.
Just do like what?
Yeah, just put it up there. You can do it. You can do it. Almost there. Almost there. It's like 75% of the way there. There you go. There you go. All right. So, said that it varies now. Looking at it from your toes, your toe, is it big toe bigger? Is it longer than the rest of your toes?
Yes.
That's called the Egyptian toe alignment. I don't know if you know that. So, if your second toe is bigger, it's called the Grecian toe alignment. It's like a Greek toe. So, like a lot of people who have Greek lineage, I actually interviewed a lady like on Friday, and her second toes are bigger, and she's like, I'm Greek. So that's usually why. But usually people have like some type of Greek lineage or something like that. And she's like, why? Absolutely. So yeah, you have an Egyptian toe alignment. You might have some type of Egyptian heritage somewhere down the line. So absolutely. Cool. Let me get you put your foot out straight. Straight.
Okay.
And then toes up. Okay. So it took us a while to get you out of it, but you finally got out of it. How are you feeling in the moment? Right? Did anything happen? Anything bad happen? It's not raining? Anything like that? So everything's fine, right? I know it feels uncomfortable, but does it feel a little bit more comfortable now that you finally went over that? You stepped out of your comfort zone.
A little bit.
Just a
like,
little.
yeah.
Well, a little bit. Okay, we got there. All right. So now, can we see it without your socks? Can we get you to go to that step? All right. I'll try to do this tickling thing with this because it's to test the sensitivity, but I don't know, your socks are going to be in the way, so it's probably going to not help as much.
Okay.
So yeah, we'll try it out though. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to have you hold that for me for a second. Cool.
Should I?
Just point it at you. It's all good. Are you pointed down? All right, cool. And so this tool right here was actually made specifically for checking people's senses. We'll see if it works on you. It might not.
Okay.
All right, cool. So try to put your foot up like this. Yeah, like that. All right, so I'm gonna start from the bottom to the top. You just tell me where you feel it at and if you feel it more in one specific spot, okay? Cool, I'm gonna try to take this off right here. All right, cool. You ready? All right, cool. Here we go. All right, where do you feel it at the most?
Right there.
Right in the arch. Okay, cool. Put it back. Let me get all the way to the top because I need to see if it's more up here, okay? What about up here?
Yeah. I feel it.
So it's like right in the middle for you, okay? In your arch. Okay, cool. Here's what I want you to do. While I'm doing it, I want you to wiggle your toes and you tell me if you feel it less, okay? Wiggle your toes. You feel it less? Do you know why?
No.
Okay, so here's the trick, right? So your mind, right, controls every part of your body, right? You telling your feet to like wiggle your toes is a distraction for you because you're focusing more on the wiggling. But also, because you're moving your foot, it moves the energy from place to place. So like in this specific spot, wiggle your toes. So if I'm doing it here, you don't feel it there because it's moving the energy from place to place. So that's a trick for you. You go get your pedicures when they do like the pumice stone thing.
Yeah.
Wiggle your toes a little bit. That's it.
Oh, okay.
Easy to do. Easy to do.
Okay.
Cool, cool. You go ahead and put your shoe back on. All right, cool. Got a couple last questions to ask you, and then we're gonna let you go and get up out of here, okay?
Okay.
So, question number one. If someone you knew paid for you to get a pedicure, how would you feel? So, like, let's say your friend here paid for you to get a pedicure. How would you feel about that?
Well, if it's Bea, I wouldn't feel offended.
You wouldn't feel. So wait a minute. Why does there have to be offense there? Because they're paying for you to get a pedicure. Maybe they just trying to do something nice. What if she did mean it in an offensive way? Where she's like, hey, you need to go get your feet done. So here's Let me get you a pedicure real quick. No, but seriously, like, why does that come to your mind first? It's like an offensive thing.
I think it just depends on
I want to get into the psychology of this, because were you ever teased when you were younger about your feet or anything like that? Did anybody ever say to you like?
I wonder, I don't know.
Because you might have been.
Like, yeah.
Because like usually when I'm doing this and like I find from people like they have some type of like issue with this because they have some past trauma from it. Either somebody teased them, they made fun of them, and so now they feel like, oh well, my feet, like it's I can't show it or anything like that. It might be that. You never know. Absolutely, absolutely. So let me ask you this: what if it was somebody you didn't know? They came to you and they're like, hey, I'm gonna treat you to a pedicure. Maybe they were in the salon with you or whatever. Treat you to a pedicure. How would you feel about that?
I mean, I guess be like appreciative.
Okay.
But I would be a little bit like, why? Just
Maybe it was just like, hey, they were in there. Maybe they heard it was your birthday or something like that, and they're just like, hey, I just want to pay for you to get a pedicure. And maybe they don't even tell you. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's a
Cool.
kind gesture.
So in this moment, I'd like to treat you to a pedicure on behalf of my channel. What are your thoughts about that? Doesn't have to be today. I'm not saying today. But at a later time, I'd like to treat you to a pedicure on behalf of my channel. What are your thoughts?
That would be nice.
Okay.
Maybe I'll
Cool.
get over like that ticklishness and I can
You
try
can
out
practice
the
on. You can tell us what it's
Yeah.
like. You can bring your friend along too if she wants to come. She didn't even do shit. You did all the work. She's gonna get the pedicure though too.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So we'll set that up afterwards. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Last thing I'd like to ask, first of all, in terms of my approach, I came up to you. I asked you to do the interview. What was my approach like? Was it good? Was it bad? How'd you feel about it?
I think it was good.
Okay.
I think it was like kind, respectful, like yeah, I think it was good.
Okay.
I think that's why like it made me want to like do the interview. I was like, yeah.
Definitely
why not?
appreciate that. Appreciate that. In terms of the questions, right? Going along in the line, what did you think about the questioning? Was it good? Was it bad? How did you feel about it?
Oh, questions I think were good.
Okay.
Definitely made me like
Think about some
how-
things? Yeah.
Yeah, like why have this feet thing?
Yeah. Yeah, and I found too, because like, so there's somebody at my job, right? She mentions all the time about like, she's like, so when I go to sleep, like I like to sleep with like my blankets over my feet, like covered up. I like to sleep with socks on and all that sort of stuff. And she's like, cause she's afraid that a monster's gonna come and drag her away by her feet. And I'm like, why are you thinking about that? Like, why? Like, there has to be something that happened to make you get to that point, because like this stuff doesn't just happen, right?
Yeah.
Usually it's some type of experience that we have. Like, for example, you try a food and then somebody offers you that food and you're like, well, now I don't want to eat it because I've had it before and I threw up or something like that, right?
Yeah.
So there's usually some type of experience. So that's why when I'm doing this, I like to try to dig a little bit deeper. Absolutely. Cool.
Yeah.
The last thing I always ask, right? So from a mental health standpoint, maybe something that you could share on my channel that could be helpful for them during the holidays, like if they're stressed out or they're like going through something. What is something you think is helpful? It could be anything too. Don't overthink it. Just whatever comes to your mind.
I mean, I think the first thing that comes to my mind is praying or even meditation. I think just taking even like 15 to 30 minutes out of like the morning to
Yeah.
kind of, I guess like just
Decompress and everything like that. Yeah.
Be positive about like, the day and
Yeah.
or just like or even like at nights too. Like find like one good thing out of like that day.
I love
And
that.
think that helps a lot.
That's great. That's great. Well, thank you so much. Definitely appreciate you. Appreciate your friend too for the boots and everything. Absolutely. Appreciate you. All right. We thank you so much and we hope that you have a great one. Okay.
Thank you so much. You
All right.
too.
Cool.